Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Walking in Your Destiny Gospel Radio Show live. Yes, the Saturday Confessions with your host, Shawna Whitehead Starks. You guys, we have an awesome show planned for you today. First of all, I want to welcome my special guest that's going to be helping me with this confession letter. Y'all know we do this every Saturday at 5, between 5 and 6, from 5 to 6 p.m. And in order for you to see the show, you need to click on my YouTube channel and subscribe. Click the button so that you can get our weekly videos, because this show is going to be able to help you to go to the next level. Okay, so before I really get started, I want to introduce my guest, Miss Salton. Y'all, she's a professional woman, a professional person, and I'm going to get a little deep with you if you know what I'm talking about. But I just want to welcome her to the show because she's going to help our person that wrote the confession letter. She's going to give them some insight to help them to get out whatever they're going through. Right, Miss Sayers? So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And so before we get started, you guys, last week I did not talk about my tea that I'm talking about every month. So as I talked about doing our advertisement that we're going to sip on tea, well, truly we are sipping on tea, right, Miss Sam? Let's drink to that, girl. Okay, so this any good. This tea is by Celestial. It's cinnamon and apple, and this is our tea for the month. This is a great tea. It's soothing, it's good, and it just helps you to meditate and just do some okay. I am a coffee drinker, but I'm trying to do my teas. So this is the tea that we're going to be drinking for the month, and you can't pick it up at Pick and Save or any stores around you like Whole Foods. I don't think Aldi's have it, but I know Pick and Save does have it. So this is a good tea if you want to sip on some tea with me every week at 5 o'clock. Okay, so we're going to get in because we got a lot of stuff to get started and talk about. Okay, so I'm going to read this confession letter with you. It says, "Hi, Walking in Your Destiny Gospel Radio Show. I'm in need of your help really bad. I'm in a really bad relationship with this man that I love, but he has me selling my body for sex. He said in order for me to love him the way he needs to be loved, I have to do this. And not only do I give him all my money, but he beats me when I don't make enough. How do I get out of this situation? He said he loves me, and he turned me into a hoe. I don't want to a prostitute. I don't want to sell my body. I want to get out of this relationship. Can you please help me? What can I do? Anybody can I talk to? I feel so ashamed and alone. I can't tell my family because they already look down on me. Haven't talked to my mom. And here I'm doing things I know I wasn't supposed to do. And the thing is, I grew up in church. Can you please help me? I'm listening. I'm listening. Sign Forever Lost." Now, this was a real touchy situation for me. I want to say, hey, everybody on Instagram that's shouting out to us. Hi, you all. This was a powerful letter that I got. And again, I thank you for Forever Lost for writing this letter. When you do submit the letters to me, you don't have to, again, like I said, you don't have to give me your name because we're not out here to put you on blast like that. We're here to help you. So I have the expert here that's going to give her testimony. She's going to help you in this area. And that's why I do this show, because I don't know everything and I want to help people to walk into their destiny so we can get out of this situation together, and we'll know how to pray for you tomorrow during service. Okay? All right, sweetheart. So what you think about this?
Unfortunately, I work with this quite a bit as a therapist and a clinical substance abuse counselor.
Okay.
I've worked with abused women and also women escaping from human trafficking as well. And I'm not sure where this young lady is from, but here we have several services that would help her escape and keep her safe and help her get a better way in a safe manner, in a private manner. We have women's shelters here who specialize in helping women escape from domestic violence.
Now, you say here, we're in Milwaukee.
We're in Milwaukee, right?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And so I would first advise her to seek out the nearest women's shelter.
Okay.
And usually the women's shelters, phone services are on 24 hours a day. And so you can call and talk to an advocate and let them know the situation. And they specialize in keeping things private, understanding how sensitive it is and how important your safety is. And so they are the go-to people to talk to. So first, the women's shelters who are prepared to deal with this kind of thing. And so it's, I wish I knew where she was from because I could probably give her better resources. But usually you can dial 211, which is an information hotline. You can dial 211 and ask for information about women's shelter.
Okay. Okay, so elaborate. How does one get in a situation like this? And remember, we being YouTube. Okay. So how does one get in a situation like, to elaborate, give us a little bit about what your experiences were.
Well, usually, like she just said, she met someone and fell in love and got into a relationship, and then there was a need that needed to be met, and that man took advantage of her caring for him. And so I was able to get out of that situation before it even started, because I saw some signs, and I grew up around those kind of things where I knew that's something that I wouldn't want to get into. And
okay, so I want to elaborate because I get real, okay?
Yeah.
So women, first of all, let me just say this, sweetheart, you are wonderfully, creatively made. And I want you to know that Jesus loves you, and so do I, and so does Miss Said Air. Okay, so it's not just you, Miss Forever Lost, but anybody that's watching this show and listening to us, you got to know that you have to understand your worth. If you don't understand who you are, whose you are, and where you're going, you're going to fall victim to anything, whether he a pimp or a pope. You're going to fall victim. So you have to understand your worth. One thing, let me get real. I ain't giving no man, no Negro, no male species, none of my money. I had to learn that too, because I've always had different businesses and things of that nature, and it was just something about these broke dudes that was attractive to me, and then I was attracted to the wrong thing. Get here. You understand what I'm saying? So I was attracted to the wrong thing, and so I found myself, oh, babe, can you help me buy a car? Babe, can you help me do this? Let me tell you something. I'm not helping you do anything. If you don't come with it, I can't help you. And that's just my motto. So what's some things that you found yourself doing when you were in that situation, or if you were a younger age than you are now?
So one of the things I think that helped me is that I was in college. I went to school. Education can be so powerful and empowering. I struggled with esteem issues back in the day, but I always kind of knew who I was, kind of following that. And yes, I got into relationships that weren't so healthy, but I was able to walk away. And I don't know where that resilience came from, but I know once I got into school, that kind of woke me up a lot, and it helped me set some standards about myself and when choosing a mate and knowing what I wasn't gonna put up with. But a lot of people fall in that if they never really had that. I have a really strong mom who was always very supportive and really guided me a lot in life. And when you kind of grow up without that parents, without the guidance, that helps you fall victim a little sooner. And when you get into these relationships, especially when it's a male and the girl's never had a father,
you better preach.
And he shows the thing, he seems protective, and he's doing things and filling a void that she's never had. So that's how you get trapped and falling into it. And then you get scared, and fear comes in because now this is all you have. And usually these men seek out women who don't have anything, and they try to be their everything.
You better preach.
And so that's one of the reasons we have to become a village again.
Yes,
and help raise, because it's not just happening to young ladies, it's happening to young guys too. But the first, like you said, the first thing is know your worth. But what is worth?
That's a good question.
What is worth, and what is worth for them? When I've been beaten, battered, abused, neglected, and never raised, I don't even know what that means. And so that's something that when you meet people along the way, you kind of help guide them, you know, keep their head up. I teach college classes throughout the year, and that's one thing I'm sure to pour into people is to understand what worth is and understand your life does matter.
That's
and
right.
if you don't care enough about yourself, how do you expect somebody else to care about you?
That's right.
You don't love yourself. Why are you holding this person to high expectations to love you?
And I'm gonna say this: if a man really love you anyway, he ain't gonna have you suggested your body to do something that it shouldn't do anyway. And we know that it's such a high priority right now because so many men and women, like you said, women are doing the same thing to other men. You don't want to get out there and work, but you want to beat somebody else up. And I have a problem with that. And so that's why Forever Lost, we're here. And like I said, anybody else that's listening to the show, we're here to help you, you know, because I know the church, you know, I love God. And I know the church can only tap on to so many things. Yeah. But, you know, being real, the real person that I am, I want to just dig a little deeper. So how does women get into a situation? Like, what is the step that when you find out that you see somebody first, that the first trigger or whatever, or news flash that, hey, he might want me to do something, like how does one know that he wants to do that?
Usually he's gonna flat out ask, you know, he's gonna butter up the whole time and make you feel like you're the most beautiful woman in the world, most important woman in the world, and you don't want to lose that. And then he slowly starts kind of showing you a bit of his life and how he's struggling and how he needs you to help him. Are you ride or die?
Oh, girl, you better say it.
Are you down? You know, we gotta get this because this is our goal, and he's including her. I want the best for us, but you know, you're beautiful. I think any man would want to have you. You know, let's capitalize, get this money. You know, that kind of thing. And that, unfortunately, the woman does not have enough self-esteem or enough strength to say no, because she does want to help somebody who's helped her so much. And that's usually the trick. I took you out these streets. I've given you a home. You got cars. You got this now. You don't got to worry about nothing. I need you to do this for me.
What? That's how it starts. So, ladies, you hearing it? This is how it starts. So we got to be careful when a man is just so, or anybody is just so alluring to want to buy this and do that extra. You got to be careful, because with that is a hidden agenda. Am I talking right?
That's right.
There's a hidden agenda. What other tips that you can? That's powerful.
To slow down. You know, take your time getting to know somebody.
Preach.
Because they will reveal themselves. They can't be that consistent for too long. But when you are meeting someone who is homeless and trying to get out of a situation, yeah, there's a rush, because their last situation, you know, was, excuse my language, hell. So when you promising me a little bit of heaven, I'm gonna try to hurry up and get there. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't take their time these days when they meet people. We have to get back into understanding what courting is and dating, and that goes back to knowing your worth. You know, have that man show that worth. If you quick to jump, then what is he supposed to do?
That's right.
So take you out, get to know you, have a conversation.
And let me say this too: stop sleeping, stop giving up that pearl or cat or whatever how you say it. Like I said, we just be so, oh my God, we don't want to talk about it. No, we got to mention things because people are dying among us. Stop giving up your jewel. If a man really wants you, he gonna wait on that. You got to understand what we're saying. You got to, because see, sometimes people are in our life for a season. They're just supposed to be for a season. But we make that person in our life for a lifetime.
Right. And
then they bring us all this hell, all this rigmarole, and they wasn't even supposed to be there. And God is trying to get our attention. So women, again, like she said, understanding your worth, take your time, get to courting. For one thing, if a man really respects himself, he ain't gonna be asking no woman for no money, no way.
That's right.
And I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? Girl, I used to buy niggas cars and all kind of stuff. And what did they do for me? Nothing. Close your eyes. What you see? Absolutely nothing. And so finally, God had to show me who I was and my worth. And so that's why I'm telling you right now, you know, like, no, don't do that. You know, wait, you know, God said when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. Not you find a girl and she's sitting here working 10 jobs and you at home sleeping and playing the game. Where we do that at? I get so angry. You can see how my passion is, because this sounds like, I don't know how old Forever Long, Love Lost is, but my thing is, she's hurting, and it's up to us wiser women to help her out. And the thing I can say to you, sweetheart, is get out. It's police stations. It's somebody that you can tell that will help you to get out. And that pimp or whatever you want to call him, he can be handled with too. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk to that demon, talk to what it is. It's help out here. Go to the police. When you think you on the job, use that phone.
And they
call
will take
somebody
you directly to those women's shelters. They are the big resource. They know exactly where to help you get to. And usually they're very sensitive about this matter. It's just how serious are you about getting out?
Thank you.
Because they witness this a lot. When it comes down to, okay, you ready to make this move, then you back out, and things like that. You can simply say, I don't want to make a report at this time, but right now I just want to be safe. I need time to kind of think about how this man is in my entire life. And so I have to think about my safety first. And can you help me get to the nearest women's
That's right.
Shelter? I used to work in women's shelters all the time, and the police would, they would show up all the time and very sensitive, finding a woman, or even went to the house and after the police were called because she got badly beaten, and took her to the shelter. Like, come on, you got to get out of here.
And then we can lock these people up. These people need to be locked up, held accountable, because I have a beautiful girl, a beautiful little daughter. And if somebody, she ain't little, she grown, but if somebody was to do that to my daughter, I will be in jail. I'm telling you where I'm at with it. Church or no church, I will be locked up, because nobody has the right to pimp you, to put you in a slave bondage or whatever you want to call it. And so it's like I said, like she just alluded to saying, get out here, call the police. When that man is hitting on you, you call him, because you have to know your worth. God did not create you to be whooped up on, whether you a man, a dog, or a man or woman, or a dog or a cat. He didn't make us to get beat up on. And I have to be passionate about it, because there's too many of our children and our people out here dying, and they think that they can't get the help, and it's help out here for you. Get that help that you need. And if anybody that's listening, do you know one of the numbers that to the women's shelter here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
I don't want to broadcast it out because I don't know who's listening, because it's very private.
Okay.
But if you call 211,
211
they will give you those numbers. I do know the direct numbers, but they are very, very, very private.
And it is for
just for that, I just want to be careful, with anyone, because even the abuser and attacker, they stalk those women's shelters because they know where they are, and they wait for the women to come outside. I've seen it where they drag them and breed them back. And so I wanted to really, really spotlight that. When we're on the other side, it's easy for us to say, run, get out.
Yes.
And I even thought that a lot myself before I got into this field, and seen it a lot. It's not as simple as you think, even when you call the police.
Because it's mental. Because I know I have a cousin, I ain't gonna reveal his name. He's in that lifestyle. And I know when I met his wife, he married his wife, she the bottom one. She's the bottom. And so I know when I met his wife, she was like, well, you got to put your head down. I said, I looked at her, where I'm put my head down too. And she was like, well, you can't look at my husband. I said, well, who is he? And he was like, oh, you got a slick mouth. I said, boo, I'm Jamaican. I'm about that life. God just saved me, okay? Right. You could never have ownership over me. I'll probably be whooping on you, okay? I just got to let you know where I'm at with it, okay? Because I just don't respect no man that want to try to beat up on no woman. You see, I'm doing a headshot and all that. And people that know me know I'm about that. So when I said that to her, I said, anyway, what are you getting out of being a pimp? Why is it so fascinating? Can you help me to understand that? Why is it so fascinating being a pimp? I don't understand that. To me, it's degrading.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, and then if women, once you get your mind really right, once God touch your mind, you'll realize, why was he ever in my life? Because you can manage your own money.
You sure can.
Amen.
And women are doing it today, you know, and then that's where they get a little upset. Women, but we're still going into a very sick cycle, because now women are aspiring to be the woman for sale, you know. Took the power back. Now they're selling themselves themselves, you know, and that's still something, you know, and it just goes back to just self-esteem and, you know, problems. We, a lot of times in a lot of certain communities and certain cultures, we're not raised up to believe in therapy and how to care for themselves mentally.
That's right.
We have these people who do sick things, and we're just like, man, how could they? When, yeah, there's a brain circuit loose, you know, up there somewhere. We got mental health issues.
And in the black community, we really don't want to talk about mental health. It's serious. White folks, they just get mental health.
Exactly.
I mean, God did. I mean, it's not no discrimination when it comes to that type of disease.
Yeah.
You know.
I've even treated some ex-human traffickers and pimps, and those guys were very severely abused.
Yeah, most of the time
you
they
know, back in the day, they didn't have, you know, that love. So it is an ongoing cycle, and hurt people hurt people.
That's real.
And so
yes, ma'am.
That it just goes back to, man, what is everybody kind of going through, and what help can you do? So.
And so I wanted to say this too: a closed mouth don't get fed.
Right.
What I mean by that, even if you are hurting, if you can't talk to everybody, just find that one person that you can confide in, so that you can get the help you need, because God desires for us to all be whole, be prosperous, even as our soul prosper. And it's not all about money. He wants us to be whole. That's why Jesus went to the cross. Jesus didn't go to the cross just to be going. He went to the cross and he took every sickness, every disease, everything. He took it to that cross. So there's no reason why we got to be in bondage. And that's why it's so imperative that I do this show. I don't care if people don't like it. I got to do what God told me to do, because God wants to set us free. If he can set me free, he set you free, beautiful person. He can set anybody free. And so, Forever Lost, we love you. And again, call 211-SAFE if you happen to live in the Milwaukee area. But wherever you live at, find that number that you can get help with.
You can Google it. Women's resources, women's shelters, domestic violence. Those are keywords to Google. And today's technology will get you right.
Yes,
right there.
yes. And don't think of yourself ashamed because you was one. Because honey, all of us, it was hoes up in here, it's pimps, it's thievery. Let me tell you something. Only reason why I ain't in jail, because I never got caught. God said we gotta keep it real now. Come on now, I'll let you down. We sipping on tea.
Right.
I'm just saying that's the only reason. So we're not gonna look down on you. We're gonna love you in spite of, because that's not what we're about. Definitely, when we're gonna help someone, it's not about looking down on that person. It's about helping, building, and uplifting that person, because all of us got issues. All of us. It could be your daughter, your son, your niece, your nephew, your grandchild, and you will want someone to help them, to reach out to them, and not look down on them. Am I talking right? All right. So, okay, so now we talked about that. So one other thing that I want to talk about, how does, what's some of the things how can you tell if a person is getting human trafficked? I mean, what are some of the signs? We know about the abuse, but what is that hidden sign about, you know?
There's no one universal sign, but there are a couple. When you see a woman whose head is always down, she doesn't really look people in the eye. A lot, she seems easily kind of frightened. Like you kind of walk up to her and they kind of jump. Bruises are one of the first, you know, other things. They try to avoid the face, but she, you know, summertime clothes get a little lighter, so you see bruises and things on the arms.
Wow.
You know, those kind of things. But you also, a woman who's been trained to kind of be aggressive with, you know, the flirting and, you know, walking up to men and, you know, really kind of bringing that in. So it's 2018 and things have really changed.
Right. That's what I wanted to know, because like back in the day, I could pick up, oh yeah, she, you know, but now it's hidden.
Yeah.
So
they're not standing on the corners anymore. The ones really standing on the corners are the ones out there for themselves, and they are suffering from addiction.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
as well. But
y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Say that again so they can hear it. Say it again.
They're not really standing on the corner like they used to, you know, the old school prostitutes.
Right, right.
But the ones who are trying to feed their addiction. And so they're not really being pimped. It's become really, really high tech these days. You get a lot of Instagram pages, Facebook. They can prostitute and pimp them through there. It's really, really high tech. And so you kind of see, I mean, I get requests, I don't know about you all the time, with women selling themselves.
Girl, let me tell you something. Now, let me say this. I don't care about people looking because I'm set free. But I know back in the day when I was out there doing my thing, you know, because some people battle sexual addictions, and I happen to be one of them people. Okay? So when I was out there doing my thing, having fun, I thought I would get people to you know, like friends that I would meet or whatever. And my part of my testimony was I was a lesbian back in the day. I was, you know, acted that or whatever. But and so sometimes I would get women off of, you know, that would try to holler at me, and I'd be nice. You know, I would be nice, and they'd be like, Miss Whitehead, can you help me with this and that? And I would be nice, and then they have a dude in the background, and dude like, yeah, let's get her money. And this one gentleman, I had to check. I was like, hold up, playing now. Let me tell you something. You know, I had to go there with him, like, and I was like, I couldn't believe that women would actually do that. Like, you would let somebody, like, example, I'm gonna give an example. I had a lady that she needed help paying her rent. I gave her the money for her rent. It really wasn't for her, it was for her man. Okay. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But yet he wouldn't work. All he did was play the game. He had kids by her. He made her work 2-3 jobs, made her sleep around, did any means necessary. And I was trying to get through to her, like, sweetheart, you don't have to do that. But nothing I said, it was like this. Hard as a rock. And then that's when he wanted to come for me. I said, let me tell you something, boy, only person you're going to check is that check you want to write. Because you ain't going to never check this now. I'll tell you where I'm at with it. Amen? Right. Okay. Right. I'm just saying.
Well, all right. You know, bless you.
I'm just saying.
That's all right. You know, and I think, you know, your story helps a lot of people, just to let you know, we've all made mistakes. We've all lived a certain life, but you can grow. You can
Yes, ma'am.
And you've definitely been blessed. But this is a beautiful thing because there are a lot of, and again, let me say it's 2018. You know, you have that kind of going on, that Bonnie and Clyde kind of going on.
Everybody want to be a ride or die chick. You can't look at Beyonce and Jay-Z. Can I keep it real now? People are looking at these stars and they thinking, okay, example, now it's so beautiful to be a dancer. Okay, I get that. Dancing is beautiful. You know, I took a dancing class, praise dance at my church, but I still took that pole class because my husband liked me to, you know, amen. So what I'm saying is, because I am married now, amen, to a man, hallelujah. So what I'm saying is, but it's okay to be a ride or die chick, but you can't be a stupid person for that man either. And I think this new generation is getting it twisted. Oh, I'm a ride or die chick, so that means my husband or whatever, my dude can do whatever because I said I'm a ride or die. No, that we're taking it out of context. Am I talking right? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've got social media, your favorite artists are glamorizing, you know, this lifestyle and the threesomes and
the cheating, get cheated on and keep taking them back. He ain't your husband.
Yeah, and now they, you know, twist it around where, you know, invite the person in the bedroom because he's going to do it anyway, so might as well join. This can go on and on, but it will always go back to knowing who you are and what your purpose is in this life. And that is unfortunately not that easy. But for those of us who do know that, it's important for us to spread that seed amongst anyone we can at any time, because you never know who needs to hear that word. That's right. You never know who's never heard. You can be somebody one day.
Now let's talk about your testimony. I know she's an advocate against sex trafficking, Miss Sayer, and she speaks all over. You probably saw my other video of her doing a slight testimony about when she was in college and how this even affects our college students. And that's the reason why we're doing this show today as well. People are going off to college and their parents are sending their little girls and boys off to get their education. They come back being prostituted. So, I mean, that's a serious, because let me tell you something. My little girl, you see it, right? I'm pretty sure. My little girl went off to college. And that was one of my biggest fears because she went to a Christian university. And when she told me about their university, how they were selling dope and all that, I said, this is a Christian university. They ain't supposed to have it up in there. And honey, she made a believer out of me. So when I heard Miss Sierra's testimony, y'all, when I tell you parents, talk to your kids. Know what's going on. Please know what's going on. Also, if you're in the church, I gotta say this too, sweetie boo. If you in the church, don't have those blinders on like this, y'all, that we don't know what's going outside in the outside world. Get to learn the language. I ain't saying be in, the Bible said be in the world, but not of the world. But God also said lack of knowledge, people perish. You have to know what's going on. Learn the language of your children. If they saying a thought, that means a hoe. Learn these words. I'm not saying you got to repeat everything, but get to know what's going on because you don't know what the enemy has set up for our children. And if you are naive on what the enemy's devices, it's going to captivate your whole family. It's going to take over your whole family. And she had a praying mama. Am I talking right? And so the things that I'm gonna let her tell her testimony a little bit while she got out of it, but you got to hear it, parents. It's powerful. It's very powerful. Go ahead, sweetie.
So this is my first year in college, and I met a very handsome gentleman who I've seen around campus all the time. He seemed really popular, well received, very intelligent. He was in the culinary arts program. And he wanted to open a restaurant. That was his goal, to do that. So one day, and again, this is my freshman year in college, my car was broken down on the side of the road near the campus, and he stopped and helped me. And this process took a couple of hours, and so he was very patient. He helped me get a tow truck. He waited for 2 hours with me with the tow truck, and as we were waiting, we're getting to know each other. And it seemed organic because, again, we seen each other around school. And so he offered me a ride home, and I thought it was safe because, we go to the same school, we hit it off, he's helping me, very chivalrous. And he asked, can we stay in contact? And I said, sure, I wanted to stay in contact. And we began dating. But the next day also, I left this part out, that he had called and offered me a ride to school, but I said I couldn't go today because I needed to find out what's going on with my car. And he arranged all of that. He got my car to the shop, got it looked at, and I didn't have to pay anything for it. And
so he wooed you.
Oh, yeah.
He would have wooed me too if he did it. Most men don't step up like that.
That's right. And my biological father was not, in my life at all. And that was one thing I was always lacking in my life. Just that guidance and that male guidance like that. And so one of the things he said that really got me is no woman should have to, do things like this, getting her car fixed. Women get taken advantage of, all the time with that. And he said, but this is a man's job, to do that for the woman. And that sounds excellent, to me, and gotten that help. But from then on, we went on the most romantic dates all the time. And then this one date that we had, we went to a really nice restaurant, went out to dinner, and then we took a long, nice walk along the lake. And he was like, I want to tell you something. I just want to, because I feel like I'm falling in love with you. And I really want you to, I really want to start revealing my life. He said, but I'm scared that you're going to leave me, and I don't want to lose you. And he began telling me that he was married in his teens, and he never got a divorce from the woman because it would ruin his business. And business, is that? He said he owned several properties. His mom left him several properties, and that he would lose them if he, divorced the wife. But he said they just become, really cool, really great friends. And he said, but he found out the wife was a dancer and a prostitute, and that turned him off.
Yeah, okay.
And so he said, so, I met other women, along the way, and I had children with, these women. It turned out to be a total of 10 children.
And how old was he?
And at the time, he was in his 20s. I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Okay,
I can't remember. He was a young man.
So women, when you hear that, when they come with baggage like that, 10 kids run. Okay? I mean, especially if you ain't got none, no disrespect. If he got all that baggage, sometimes you got to run. I'm not saying God can't put you with nobody with like that. I'm not saying that. But I just don't believe that God gonna do no 19-year-old with no man with 10 kids. You know, when you ain't got none.
And now that I think about it, he was older than me. I think he was more closer to his 30s. He was a non-traditional student. So he just looked really young. But I do remember he was older than me. So it was possible, you know, to have all that life baggage with that. But I want to say maybe 29, 30 probably. But he was older than me, much older. But yeah, he said, you know, but he found out these women were the same. They were all dancers and prostitutes. And, you know, that they lied to him. And so he said his wife couldn't have children. And so she, you know, volunteered to help raise the children. And he said, so I'll always be grateful for that. But I don't want to have my kids growing up, you know, like I did. And so everybody just pitched in, and you know they doing what they doing. That's how we take care of the family until.
So he really think he oh Lord.
And so, the wife, who's the bottom basically, and the first child's mother live in the same house with him, and then in the other houses, the other women live in the house with their kids, and so they all contribute by dancing and prostituting, take care of the family while he's in college and pursuing the goals of getting his culinary arts degree and opening this restaurant, which will, you know, take care of the family legally. But until then, this is what, you know, everybody's agreed to do. But they're all a family. And so all of a sudden the phone begins to ring, and then 2 other phones I didn't know he had began to ring, and his voice just turned so dark and so cold. He sounded like a completely different person. And he, you know, start talking to them like they were dogs on the street and calling them the B word like it was their first name. And it's like, you know, I know some of the situation where either she got robbed or didn't get the money she was supposed to. And it's like, you better get back out there and get my money and bring it back by any means necessary. I mean, of course, I'm giving the light version.
Oh yeah, I know. And I'm gonna give a light comment. If that nigga, and I'm saying, if he would have ever said that to me, girl, I'm trying to tell you. Do you hear what I'm saying? I just wish. I just hate to hear that for anybody, because I had a daddy that showed me love, and my daddy Jamaican, and showed me love, and he gave me and my sister words and said, you know, you don't let no man disrespect you. You don't let no man talk to you. Nobody talk to you like you less than. You, oh my goodness.
Right. And he said, no. And then the other phones were ringing, and it was one of the other girls, and he was telling her, you go get the kid, you take her place, you get out there and get some more money, and then you go back with the kids, you know. And so it's like kids involved. And I'm like,
wow.
And then he turned to me and he was like, he started tears coming out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I look back on it, it was just really. But you know, he was like, I wanted you to see that, just so you could see how stressed I am, and I really wanted you to see, you know, my life, because I really do not want to lose you. And I said, well, this is something very new for me. I've never experienced that before, and I don't think, you know, I could be a part of that. And it's like, but no, I'm trying to get out of this. I want to live a happy life, and I feel like I found that in you. But he's like, and I would never allow you to do that if you don't want to. It's like, okay. Well, I don't want to.
Right.
But you know, it's like, okay. But then I just, and the phone kept ringing. I'm just watching him talk, and I just got, you know, really scared. Like, ooh, I just want to get home. I don't know what this man is capable of. I'm seeing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But then he told me, he was like, and if you did, you know, want to, it would be hard for me to see that, but I would know that meant you really love me, you know.
Wow.
So And I was like, at that point, I'm like, all right, this is, not real. You're kind of recruiting at this point. And so, I don't know. It just something came over, and it was like, you know what? I really, really care about you too. So let me think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think about it.
At least you were keeping it real, being honest.
I wasn't being real.
But I'm saying at least you being honest. You did care about it, and you did say, okay, but because something that's
trying to get home.
I
was trying to get home, so I didn't know how this was gonna end. That night, if he was gonna pull out a gun and make me go, but I wanted to give let him think, okay, maybe I got her, that kind of way, but in a way he didn't have to use force. And so I'm like, just let me think about it, because I got to think about a lot of stuff, but I really care about you and I want to be with you too. And I don't want to see you struggle,
you did that mental psychology. You flipped it back around. That's what I'm talking about.
And I was like, I really want to, just help you get out of this too, but let me figure some things out, because I got uncles who are very protective over me, and they're all, military, and they're all police detectives.
I love what you say.
So I wouldn't want them to ruin, get in your business, because they are very, very protective over me. And, next thing I know, I was home, safe and sound. But I think hearing that word police, my family and
military,
over me,
yes.
I think that's what saved, my life. And besides God, saved my life, that night. And he never spoke to me again, never called me, and I would see him, around. I don't know if he quite finished that, because that was the only semester I recall seeing him again. But again, my biggest regrets. One of my biggest regrets ever in life is I never said anything. I never reported it. And you're talking 10 children, no matter, I don't know how many women, I could have somehow helped. I just, at that point, like, what would I say? And again, not thinking police would take me serious. Like, this man said they were a family. He got kids with these women. What if they don't want to go? If they want to do this, but then I thought about how many women he probably deceived on campus.
That's it. That's it.
And so that,
because he clearly was there to recruit. He wasn't there, because I figured like this: if you that passionate about getting your culinary license and all that, you don't need to have other women do your work. You can get out here and get it for yourself. And my thing is, that's why I say a closed mouth don't get fed. That's why I wanted you to share your testimony, because there's somebody out here listening and they like, oh my God, that's me. You women, when somebody get to saying, y'all gotta excuse my nails. You see this? I only had them on the weekend. They all flipped off, but I'm just saying. So the thing is, when you see somebody that's talking a good game and you think that your life might be in a danger, I love how you flipped that script. You did that reverse psychology. And another thing you got to be careful on, you got to be careful telling everybody all your business. If a predator know that you don't have no type of support, they're gonna that's ding 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 ding. You got to be like, you can't let the Bible say you can't let your right hand, the left hand know what your right hand doing. He's saying that for a reason. You can't be so naive just because it's some new love that you never found. And something you said earlier, Miss Sair, that get a chance to know somebody. Now, see, it could have went a whole nother different way if you didn't have that mind right. You could have been like, really? Okay, he did this and that. Oh, let me give him a little bit. And then you stuck. You trapped. So you got to be careful. And if you are, I don't care if you don't have a lot of support, that predator or whoever don't need to know that. They do not need to know that.
They do not.
So what tips can you give us from that situation, like what lifestyle tips?
Because life is real. We do meet people, but it is imperative that you take your time. One of the things is I'm newly single. I lost my fiance 2 years ago in a car accident. So I'm back out here in the dating game. And one of the things I require, you got to show me your ID before we go out on the date. Your license, I'll take a picture of it, I'll send it to my mom, things like that. Meet out in public, you won't know where I live. I even have I don't reveal this, but I got a online free text number. They don't have my real
Oh yeah, girl, that's wisdom. And I'm gonna say something else. Let me say this because this is real. when a man say, when y'all first get together and he loving you and he loving all this or whatever, when he say, oh Lord, I want you to have my baby run, that's the black man's national anthem. I say that. I used to tell my daughter that, and a lot of times she ran. Run, okay?
Yes.
And I don't want to hear I'm in transition.
And,
you know, you heard that too, right?
Planning, you know.
You heard that too. I'm in transition and I'm okay. I don't even want to talk to you if you're in transition. Keep it moving. You got to just keep it moving because sometimes people make your problems their problem. I mean, their problems your problem.
Exactly. And I always tell women, you know, you got this laundry list of what you want in a partner, but who are you? You know, do you have the same things that you're requesting? Because if you do come across that person and you don't have those things, you're not seeing eye to eye.
That's it.
You know, that gives them that power to kind of flip that script, you know, on you. Do you have a job? You know, are you stable? Are you financially sound? You know, especially when we're talking about, you know, older women, kind of getting back out there. You know, what do you want? You know?
And then you got some things, you know. Come on, ladies, we know that if a man got 10 kids and he got all these different baby mamas, it's something that man is doing. Most women is not gonna just dog their baby daddy out because most women want that family unit. So it's something that's going on that either that person, that male is doing, or it might be the woman, but 90% of the time, not saying I'm male bashing or nothing, I'm just keeping it real. 90% of the time, it's the male. You know what I'm saying, in that situation. So when you meeting someone, these are some of the red flags to look at, as Miss Sayer said, that, you know, hey, take your time. I know she's, like she said, she's in the dating game. She doesn't give out all her information. She don't even give you, she got an online number. And there's nothing wrong with that because you're protecting yourself.
I am. And I'm not saying people can't change. You know, we've all made mistakes in our past, but you have to take your time to see about that change. You know, is this person walking like you talking?
You better preach.
You know, but, and take your time. And if that person does not feel your worth, you know, that stroll and that time with courting you and dating you.
That's right.
Spending that time, you know, before he lays you down, then that is a huge red flag. You know, move around. And
another red flag, do not give no man all your money. I'm not saying that you can't borrow a couple dollars, but you make sure that borrow get back. You know, because that's one of the things. That shouldn't
even be a part of the program.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But sometimes, you know, like sometimes you might have somebody say, well, you know what, can I, you might have somebody say, well, oh, excuse me, can I want to borrow $10 or $20. I can do that, but I'm not buying you no car. I'm not doing this because I was a victim to that.
Yeah.
And even though my dad told me how wonderful I was, but I still fell victim to that before I got married. And I'm talking about because the Bible says we shouldn't fornicate. And I understand why he say that. Because for me, I'm only speaking for me, but for me, I used to let that male gender get a control of this brain, and I couldn't see nothing but that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, it stagnated my vision. For me.
Yeah.
Now, for other people, it might not stagnate your vision, but you might like that abuse, or you might like that man controlling you. You know, so we all got issues and things that, you know, we don't want to go back and dip back into. But those are some of the things that are red flags. If you see someone that's always asking you for money and they so needy, you need to revisit that situation, because you don't want it to come to be something as a sex trafficking situation.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
And so one other thing that you want to share with our parents to look for in colleges before we leave?
And just, as a lot of parents, it's kind of, they don't want to bring it up. If you don't talk about it, don't exist. It does exist. We cannot protect our children like we think we can, because they are going to get out into the real world, and their friends and their social surroundings are their biggest influence.
That's it.
You don't want to be somebody your child does not want to come talk to.
Yes.
As they get older, you have to change the relationship that you have with your children.
Yes.
And talk, and not make them feel shame, because they're going to see things they are going to be around things.
Yes.
But you want to be that first person they run to.
And you got to be real with your parents, kids.
Be real with your parents, but
I mean, our parents got to be real with their kids too now.
But and I will say, everybody, we can always say, no, that ain't right. Don't do that. Don't do that. Those discussions have to change.
That's it.
But again, some of those parents have never been taught, and that's all they know how to do is protect and say no, and no, we're dealing with sexuality, we're dealing with drugs, we're dealing with a lot of things. And if you don't have a relationship with your child, it's imperative. You will lose that child to that, no matter how good of a provider you've been. What's your relationship where they're becoming teenagers? It's time to learn that language. Listen to them songs. What's going on? There's a teaching moment. In every lesson there's a blessing. Who are they? Grow with them. Who are they going to be? But spending time with them, getting to know those friends. And
let me say this, and then, like I said, we in the church. We got to talk about this stuff in the church. We can't be putting it off and say, well, we're not going to mention this, and because this stuff is happening, because they're seeing it on the internet. They're seeing it when they step out. You need to talk to your kids. Sweetie Pooh, this is what's going on. When a man wants you, you meet a man and he said, oh, babe, I want you and Sophia. That's called Najee Twice threesomes. Right. I did it. Do you feel what I'm talking about? And we didn't talk about this in the church. We did not. And then I was wondering why I was gay, because I set myself up. You understand what I'm saying? And then we wonder why our kids is getting into stuff. We got to start opening our mouth, and like you said, and show them that don't be so. How you doing? Blessed and highly favored. How your family? Blessed and highly favored. But your kids is dying, they murdering, they doing all this, and we don't want to hit it. We got to hit it. And so what helped me was God allowed me to. I married a gentleman because I used to be married to a minister. I didn't want no more church man. And anybody that watched the Walking in Your Destiny Christian Talk Show, y'all can go back and y'all see the episode that I did. I said I didn't want no church man. I said, Lord, give me somebody, a thug from the street that I can say, bring him to the church and God get saved. And He did just that. God did just that. God married me a man from the street, didn't go to church, and when he came to Christian Faith Fellowship Church on 86th and Good Hope Road in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, when he came there the first day, he got saved. And so now we growing together with God. But see, he had to teach me some things because I was so church. And so the thing was, I started watching hood movies. He took me to the hood. I started learning the language. And now when I hear people talking, because I'm a licensed social worker as well, now when I hear people talk, I just look at her and they be like, how she know this? Because I had to learn. How can you effectively minister and help people when you ain't going to get out to the trenches and know the language? You got to know the language. Like you know the whole language. No disrespect. You wasn't one, but you know the signs of what to look for. And so now you can see if somebody's trapped and say, okay, I know she trapped. Let me minister to her, because you understand the language. And that's what we got to get to, y'all. We're not saying nothing negative. We got to get to that, so that way we can be helpers one to another, and we won't lose our children. So when they go off to college or anywhere else.
You have to talk about emotions. You can't be afraid to talk about sexuality, because their friends will. You teach them about, sexually transmitted disease. You cannot be afraid to have these conversations, and it's never too young to start. You just have to talk about it on a different level. Good touch, bad touch. It needs to start. School shouldn't be responsible.
That's it.
For those kind of things, because they're only going to go
so far. They're only going to go. That's it.
Letting them. You got to take that back. We all have heard what those predators do. You tell somebody, I'm gonna kill you. No, they're not.
No, they ain't.
If somebody tells you that, and we never know. Life does happen, but you tell that child that don't ever be afraid. Tell me, I can protect myself. Don't worry about that. Don't let that person tell that. Talking to them about healthy relationships, but it's different if they never saw you in a healthy relationship. So how, would they? So now you start looking at after school programs and, the Boys and Girls Club with, things that are out here for teens. If you can say yourself, you know what, I don't know if I'm that.
And then even too, youth church functions, youth groups. Get your kids involved in youth groups. Or
there's so much out here. Because if you can say, you know what, if you don't have that confidence, think, I wasn't the best parent, not the best role model, but you want better for your kids, then you go out here and find it.
That's it.
We're out here. We can help you with that. But then you got to start becoming that role model.
And then I want to say this to the people that think they want to be a pimp. I got to speak to you too, because you got a soul. If you want to be, let me tell you something. I also have an institute. I do job employment. I can help you get a job and help you get some self-esteem, because God did not create you to pimp anyone or sex traffic anyone, okay? So we can help you. My number is 414-520-4699. I ain't never scared of nobody, okay? I just have to put it out there like that, because like you said, hurt tends to hurt, and somewhere down the line is something that was being hurt in your life, so you feel that you have to hurt other people, and you don't have to do that. God loves you just like I love you, and you can change today. Okay?
There's an organization called HEMAD that ex-traffickers, are working with males and kind of just breaking that cycle and helping them, along the way.
So it's called what?
HEMAD, HEMAD, and Convergence Resource
Center. Yes.
That is the organization that are helping women.
Yes, I love that.
Who have been, she's awesome. She is the expert.
Oh yeah.
In this. I encourage anyone. I'm not the expert in that. I just
you
treated a lot of women.
You treated a lot, and you had a powerful testimony.
In that. But the Convergence Resource Center with Dr. Debbie Lassiter, that is the go-to.
Yes, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yes. She's located on 76th and Bradley Road. Convergence Resource Center, Dr. Debbie Lassiter. Yes. For y'all, I'm very good friends with her, and she's been on my show a number of times. Yeah. And so if you happen to be living in the Milwaukee area, Convergence Resource Center, they will help you. They one-stop shop. They will help you with everything. They will. And again, like I said, we want to be an example. We want to help you. And again, with Forever Lost, I hope this was inspiring and helpful to you. Again, Lord, Miss Sayer, I really appreciate you.
Problem. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your testimony, and thank you for being on the Walking in Your Destiny Gospel Radio Show Live, Saturday Confessions. You have been such an amazing person. I'm serious, because some people are watching this, and we were in Instagram Live, but when they watch the show tonight, once it air at 5, I probably shouldn't have said that, because my producer looking at me like, cut. No, but you know what I'm saying. People's lives are going to be changed and transformed, and that's what it's about. Yeah. It's not about saying that we want to put anyone down, because we love each and every one of you, including the person that is offending, if you know what I mean.
That's right.
And so I want to take this time to say, if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you can today, by just acknowledging that you are a sinner, saying, Lord Jesus, I'm a sinner. I believe that you died on the cross for my sins. I want you to come into my heart and change my life. I have lived this life. I don't know how to do it no more. I need you to lead and guide me. And if you do that, and with a sincere heart, let me tell you something, sweethearts, you're saved. And let me tell you, we welcome you into the family of God. He is going to clean you up one moment at a time, day by day, just like he did with me. And he's going to show you the beautifulness that, the beautifulness that that lies within you. And whatever happened back in the day, he's going to put in the sea of forgetfulness. Do you hear what I'm talking about? So you too can walk into your destiny. My prayer for you is that you get to a Bible-believing teaching church that's going to help you grow, help you soar for excellence, and take off all the baggage that you might have. It's going to clean it up off you. Okay? You hear what I'm saying? Because God is a good God. Jesus loves you no matter what you did, and whatever you said, or whatever you're doing now, he still loves you. That's why he went to that cross. Okay? So, again, I want to say I go to Christian Faith Fellowship Church here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, under the leadership of Bishop Darrell Hines and Pastor Pamela Hines, great leaders who have helped me to become a better me. Amen. Because, honey, if it wasn't, I would have been in jail. I'm just saying. And be going my way to hell. Amen. So, I go to Christian Faith is located on 8605 West Good Hope Road, and our services is every Sunday, 9 a.m., and our second service at 11:30. Now, you can come there if you happen to live in Milwaukee, but if you don't want to go there, go to some church that's here in Milwaukee. I can name off some great ones: New Testament, World Outreach, a whole bunch of them. What church?
Triumph Church.
Triumph Church. Where you located?
6th and North Avenue.
Triumph Church, 6th and North Avenue. So please go somewhere. And if you live outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there are some great churches all over the world that's teaching Jesus Christ, and that's teaching God's love. So go somewhere. I just have to do that every show, y'all, because I love my Jesus. I know how he saved my life. All right. So again, I thank you. And do you want to leave the listeners and the viewers with one last shout out or one last word?
Yeah, help is always out there. Please don't be afraid. There is somebody that will listen. If you don't know, call 211. Tell them what the problem is, and they will get you into the right direction. But please don't be afraid of help. The help is out there for every situation.
Amen. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the Walking in Your Destiny Gospel Radio Show live with your host, Shawna Whitehead Starks, and we're doing Saturday Confessions, and with my special guest, Miss Sierra Salton. She's been a jewel. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And let me know your comments. Let me know how the show, what you think about the show, and what you think by the comments below, okay? God bless. See you guys next week. Have a wonderful week.